Here at Digimarcon and Texpo here in Hollywood. This is Digimarcon West and Digimarcon California. And so we're here with a lot of great informed speakers and vendors and exhibitors. And you are one such respected leader who's here as an exhibitor. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm Cody Owens. I'm the content director, Elevate My Brand, and the host of the live podcast right here in front of the audience and globally abroad. So, as one of our respected vendors, will you please introduce yourself, tell us your name, what company you're with, and what your role is within the company.
Thank you so much, Cody, for such a good introduction, and it's very pleasure to be here.
Good.
And I'm Shalin Acharya, and I'm from Tech Horizon. And I have a IT consulting firm where we provide technology solutions, and the solutions are ranging from anywhere between a simple web design to app developing to all the way to cloud migrations. And I have a team of over 50 to 60 developers who are working, on amazing solutions, and that also includes AI and integrations. And we've been in the business from last few years, and we have worked with multiple clients. And my goal, primary to attend the events, and especially in Tech Expo and Digimarcon, is to gather more audience and to meet and network with more leaders and more like-minded peoples. So that's why I'm here today.
Great. And we're glad you are. I know, speaking on behalf of all of the digital marketers who are here, everyone is clamoring to really connect with the next tech, or the tech that's going to enhance their workflows or conversions or whatever, and everyone wants to get their hands in AI. So we appreciate you being here and guiding us and holding our hands into the next iteration of our businesses and marketing practices. Can you tell me a little bit about what are the problems that people have when they come to you that you can solve?
Yes, so that's a very good question, and I think that's what we do. Our company is called IT Solutions for All. Right. So that's what it means. We do provide solutions, and we are facing most of the solutions that our clients is first of all, they want to use AI tools, and they are they are aware of it, what AI does, but they don't have the technical knowledge, and they don't have enough resources. So we as a company, we can provide them solutions like a business to business. Plus we have our main focus to providing is the AI chatbots, which is like a customer service. So let's say if a normal business, for example, I take an example of a healthcare, let's say, and there is a billing, there's a patient portals, and there are hospitals, let's say, if you call them, but they might not have enough resources to schedule appointments or follow-up checkups. So if you have a very powerful AI tool on your website or on the app of that hospital or a healthcare organization, the clients or the customers or patients, they can easily set up appointments, they can pay their bills, they can schedule appointments. The AI can, show the doctors who are available or their particular provider when the next appointment is available. So that's just a small example I gave, and there is multiple use of it. And this applies for, financial systems, travel, or retail industry, where you can use this kind of tools. So this is one example that, I usually think very simple to understand.
Yeah.
And other kind of solutions are cybersecurity.
Gotcha,
it's very important. A lot of companies, they need a cybersecurity analysis, enhancements. They want to use, more safety tools which can help secure their environment, their data, like network encryptions or data encryptions, and the tools which can, prevent them from losing from the attackers. So cybersecurity is very important. So those are some solutions that our clients come to us, and we are happy to provide that.
Great. And it sounds like a very wide range of solutions. And I think technology and marketing are very similar in that they're applicable to essentially any industry or category, and everyone knows they need it. So thank you so much. Specifically for you and your company, what makes you stand out in a very competitive market, considering everyone needs technical solutions, IT solutions, marketing solutions? What makes you stand out from the competition?
Yes, so that's a very good question, and competition is everywhere in every business, right? Yeah. So of course we have to compete, and what makes us stand out is we are very qualified team. The people who work for me and who are working on the solutions with the clients, they are very highly qualified engineers, and they have years of experience. Like some of them are over like 10 years of experience in the industry. I myself, I'm in the tech from like 15 years. So we are not like some who thought an idea and started
Yeah.
a business.
Yeah.
We are someone who belongs to the engineering and tech industry. So that stands out us. We understand our client more than a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Plus our rates and our pricing are very competitive to other, since we are growing. So and we want to help as many as clients as possible at the best possible budgets. So
Yeah.
that's what gives them also a peace of mind, because not every company has a large budget.
Yeah.
So we do work with small scale companies to medium as well.
Great. Yeah, and I imagine a lot of people think of like the tech solutions as I'm going and almost like software as a service, if you will, of like, oh, I have a thing, what do you have to fix it? But I imagine a lot of it is also strategy as a solution that you're providing as well, of
Right.
especially in an age where people are like, I'm going to have all these different like tech platforms into my tech stack, and like, but they're not all speaking to each other, and like they may not all be secure if they're speaking to each other. So I imagine that you're also dealing with a lot of like strategy as solution as
Right.
well. Is that the case?
Correct. And sometimes they need like solutions. Sometimes they just need a strategy
Yeah.
and consultation. So that's why it's called IT consulting.
Yeah.
So we do provide consultations as well. So you got that correct.
Great, cool, yeah. Do you have like a specific example of, obviously you don't have to mention any particular person or company, but like a specific example of someone who they knew they needed tech solutions and they came to you, and you, like a case study you have of how you supported them?
Sure. So we had this particular client like last year, where we had worked on their tracking application. So they were running like a taxi service business, and they were like trying to upgrade their app, where they wanted to integrate the latest GPS systems, like the Google Maps, and their previous solution was outdated. So they were like an enhancing product, and it was like a support project. So the installation and the product itself was pretty quick, but the support is like ongoing for the years. So there is a lot of companies, they need a support like more than the product, because product creating can be done
Yeah.
in 6 months or 8 months or a year, but the ongoing support is something also we provide, and
Yeah.
that is also very important. So because you don't want to lose your app or website after 6 months it's done.
Yeah.
So that is one of the success story that we have, and we are successfully providing them support for their app.
Totally,
And
yeah.
and their app is going like with almost zero downtime. So that's one of the stories.
Incredible. Yeah, congrats on that. Yeah, I think of like any sort of like tech as like any machine, and that if you're not upkeeping it, then
Right.
it's like a car. You need to change your oil, or else it's gonna
It's gonna
go
break,
down.
yes.
So yeah, I think that's another thing in marketing as well, is that a lot of especially right now with businesses being cash strapped, they know they need tech solutions or marketing solutions. They're like, what can we do right now? And I think that tech and marketing are similar in a way, in that it's like, well, if you just do a thing right now and you're like, that's it, it's a really a long game of like, there has to be ongoing maintenance and optimization and all of those things. So I hear you and totally understand of, it's not just let's have this conversation, let's do this thing and you're done. You need to have that ongoing maintenance and like oversight. So totally understand that. What would you give, like what kind of advice would you give to businesses who are in need of like tech solutions at the moment, or maybe even to businesses that don't quite know yet that they need tech solutions? What advice would you give them?
The number one advice I give is definitely use the tech solutions, because technology is growing, and there's a lot of things that you can do. So the companies who are not using it, they're still like manually doing stuff. It's definitely outdated now. A lot of companies are already like using AI tools, and some of them at different levels. And other advice I give is use the latest and greatest technology, because it's like most people think it's very expensive.
Yeah.
When they think of like that, okay, I want to have a cloud solution, and their budget in the mind is like pretty high.
Yeah.
But realistically it's not that high.
Yeah.
And they never try to find out and go through that route. But once they walk to that path, they talk to companies like us, or discuss with us, like, or go through a meeting, a scope of work, then they realize it's not that expensive. And in the long term it saves a lot of money for the business, like whether it's
Right.
a healthcare or finance or retail or travel industry, whatever the business is doing. And cloud solutions are very affordable, and they are very fast, and very growing. So a lot of clients, they don't know that
Yeah.
it's possible to do in a certain amount of money. So that is what my advice is, just go explore and try to just go on that path, have a discussion and understanding, and that will help them a lot.
For sure, yeah. Kind of in that vein, is there any like trends that you've noticed in terms of like what businesses need or think they need, or just trends and technology that like people might need to know about this?
So I would say, like, yes, people should definitely need to know about cloud and the AI tools, as well as a lot of things. Like I have heard, like, and I have seen in my experiences that most of the companies or the businesses, they stick with like their previous, because they don't want to go through all the process and change.
Yeah, change can be hard.
But change is always necessary. Change is the only constant.
Right,
I mean,
yeah,
I have heard that
exactly.
saying. So I would suggest, like, do that, and that will help in the long term. That's what my opinion is.
Great, I love that. Yeah, with technology, you have to get rid of the fear because it's changing so much that like you're gonna have to courageously move forward if you want to stay up to date. So we're here live at DigiMarCon, and I know you said this was your first time at the like Techspo, and this is still early on day one. But what brings you to these kind of events, and what kind of advice would you have like to say to people like the value of this kind of situation?
First of all, I would say it's a very amazing day. I've been to multiple conferences. I've been to even the conferences outside of US's, and for my business and reaching out and networking. So this is amazing. I have, like, since morning I've been reaching and talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
They are coming to my exhibit and they are talking and they are interested in the services. They want to learn more about the solutions and asking a lot of interesting questions. So I think this event is very useful for anyone, even like whether you are a company or you are someone who is exploring, or even an individual who are into the IT or tech or marketing. So they should attend this. That's what I say, and I love it. So it's still one day.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it will be more exciting as the time goes.
Yeah, and if people weren't able to connect with you here in person, if they're virtual or they're watching this much later, how can they get connected with you to talk about like their own IT and tech solutions?
Sure. I mean, like, our website is there, and we have our LinkedIn as well as I think I'll share on our LinkedIn as well. This so we have our website, our LinkedIn, and as well as our business developing teams email address. So you can reach out to them, and they will be happy to answer any questions, set up meetings. So that's
Great.
for sure.
Can you repeat the name of the company and your name so
Yes.
people can find you much more easily?
It's Tech Horizon Texas. The website is techhorizontx.com, and the company name is Tech Horizon IT Solutions.
Great. Well, Ashalan, thank you
so
much for
much.
talking to me.
Thank you so much for
and I
inviting me.
hope that everyone gets to connect with you.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of the DigiMarCon and Techspo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.